Gopalaswamy said at the United Nations in 1948, he said, the question about the future of Kashmir, this is the Indian delegate speaking at the United Nations, the question about the future of Kashmir, whether Kashmir remains with India or it accedes to Pakistan. He did not stop there. This is Indian delegate speaking at the Security Council. Whether Kashmir remains with India or accedes to Pakistan or remains independent. And he did not stop there. He is speaking at the Security Council of the United Nations. And he said, if Kashmir wants to be the part of this body of the United Nations, that has to be decided by the people of Kashmir. But that was in 1948. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Veer Sanghvi, again not an ordinary person. Veer Sanghvi is the editor of Hindustan Times. He wrote in August of 2008 in Hindustan Times, why do we hang on to Kashmir if the people of Kashmir do not want to be with us? And he said, let us have a referendum in Kashmir. Let the people of Kashmir decide their destiny. And he said, if they want to be with us, they are most welcome. If they want to go away, we have no moral authority to force them to remain. And Mr. Veer Sanghvi said in Hindustan Times, this is the time to think unthinkable. Mr. Swaminathan Iyer, he wrote in Times of India, in August of 2008, we have given the promise to the people of Kashmir to have a referendum there. Let us have one. Let us give the people of Kashmir three choices. Ladies and gentlemen, Swaminathan Iyer, not in 1948, August of 2008, writes in Times of India, which is as important in South Asia as New York Times here in the United States. He said, let us give the people of Kashmir three choices. Whether they want to go to India, they want to go to Pakistan, they want to remain independent. Then he said, let the people of Kashmir decide, and not the armies of India and Pakistan. And again, let me quote you Gautam Navlakha. He said, who is Gautam Navlakha, the editor of Economic and Political Weekly of India. And he wrote in Economic Weekly of India, he said, let us stop blaming Pakistan. Let us accept the reality that the people of Kashmir have no faith in the Indian government. This is Gautam Navlakha speaking. You just saw a lady who is a human rights activist not only in India, of an international stature, Arundhati Roy. She wrote an article in Hindustan Times, and she wrote another article in Daily Guardian. What did she write? She wrote that India has been setting the terrorism card at the international scene. But today, India is facing a movement of non-violence. India cannot crush such a movement. Then what else she said? She said, now India has nothing to settle at the international scene. I am afraid. This is Arundhati Roy writing, not me. Arundhati Roy said, I am afraid. Now India may create its own insurgency in Kashmir. And day before yesterday, Pankaj Mishra, he wrote that road to Afghanistan, the peace in Afghanistan runs through Kashmir. Pankaj Mishra is an Indian. So there is a change in the Indian thinking that we have to find the solution of Kashmir problem. No international dispute can be resolved unless there is international understanding. So again, I do not need to go into history. When Kashmir issue got erected in the United Nations in 1948, the United States, you are all in the United States, the United States took the stand that the future of Kashmir must be ascertained in accordance with the wish and the will of the people. And the United States was the principal sponsor and the co-author of the resolution that was adopted by the Security Council on April 22, 1948. It was none other than President Harry Truman who said that any contentious issue regarding Kashmir must be submitted to the arbitration. It was none other than George W. Bush who said on February 22, 2006, the United States, President George W. Bush speaking, the United States accepts their solution of Kashmir, which is acceptable not only to India and Pakistan, but also to the people of Kashmir. General Colin Powell, our Secretary of State, he said in New Delhi, we accept the centrality of the issue of Kashmir between India and Pakistan. President Obama, 1 week before he became the president, to be exact, October 30th of 2008, he said, I will help India and Pakistan to resolve the issue of Kashmir. Last week, to be exact, February 2nd, General Fullerton, Chief of the Army Staff of the United States, said at the Capitol Hill, we offer our understanding to India and Pakistan to resolve the issue of Kashmir. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ground reality speaks for the people of Kashmir. The Indian thinking has shifted now, speaks for the people of Kashmir. The international understanding is there for the people of Kashmir. Now the question is, what needs to be done? I would like to submit, unless New Delhi and Islamabad, they take 4 steps, the peace talks between India and Pakistan will never succeed. Because this talk which took place, this was 132nd peace talks between India and Pakistan. And the outcome was, we agreed to stay in touch. So India and Pakistan will have to take 4 steps. Number 1, the talks, the parameters of talks have to be defined. Why it is important? It is important because Dr. Manmohan Singh, as the Prime Minister of India, he signed an agreement with the President of Pakistan, that time it was General Musharraf. To be exact, that was September 24th of 2004. And the agreement was, they will explore all the possible options to resolve the issue of Kashmir. And this week, his Minister of Interior says that Kashmir is an integral part of India. So the parameters have never been defined. When you are talking to India and Pakistan, are you talking about the internal affairs? Are you talking about the law and order? Or you are really talking about the final settlement? So the parameters will have to be defined. And second thing is, the talks over the issue of Kashmir, it has to be time bound. And thirdly, the Kashmiri leadership. And let me define what is Kashmiri leadership. I have no doubt that all parties Hurriyat conference represent the broader spectrum of the people of Kashmir, but they are not representing the whole of state of Jammu and Kashmir. They are not representing the whole of state of Jammu and Kashmir. So then who is the whole of state of Jammu and Kashmir? The leadership of all parties Hurriyat conference, the leadership of Kashmiri Pandits, the leadership of Kashmiri Dogras, the leadership of Kashmiri Buddhists and Sikhs, the leadership of Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. They need to be taken away from India and Pakistan. Let them meet for a week or 2. Let them come up with the leadership. That leadership has to be included in the talks. Unless the Kashmiri leadership is the part of the negotiations, the peace talks between India and Pakistan will never succeed. And the fourth thing is, when you are really talking about the peace process, the impact has to be felt on the streets of Kashmir. You just heard our 5 youngsters, they just related to you what is happening in Kashmir. I really do not want to go into that. It is very horrifying. I really want to take you to the future. But the question is, during peace talks, the impact has to be felt on the streets of Kashmir.